Alright everyone, so we're coming to the end of the course, and what I want to do just to finish the course is I want to introduce one last opponent, a kind of a big boss opponent to play the role of the capstone of the course. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create a creature that starts off as a knight in a suit of armor fighting the wizard. And the wizard has to kind of get rid of all of his pieces of armor. But at some point, as the light fades and night comes in, the knight turns into a werewolf. And then the wizard must fight the werewolf. And this is going to be a much more advanced opponent than anything we've seen before in terms of of the quality of the opponent. It's not going to be a simple graphic floating around. It's going to be, it's going to have a lot of graphics as part of it. Now, before we do that, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to export this music sprite. And what that does is it allows you to export the sprite on its own instead of saving the whole program, which you should do as well. But you can also just save a little piece of it on its own. And that means I can now delete this, which means I've gotten rid of the music, all that hard work we did, I got rid of it. And I can bring it back later. Later I can just upload the sprite and slot it back into the game. And the advantage of this is I can just move it off my workspace for the time being while I'm working on other things so that the music isn't intruding. So you might want to do the same thing with the weather. You could do it with the wind or the storm or the mist. You could just save the sprite and then just remove it. And then that stops the storm getting in the way when you're playtesting. And then you just upload it later when you're producing the final game. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave the weather where it is because I can just delete it from the weather list if I think it's in the way. And I've planned that to be a little more convenient. But this is an option. So I've bundled together all the graphics for the night, and what I want you to do next is I want you to upload those as a sprite. So as usual, the sprite is available, all the materials are available on the Patreon site. So just check beneath the video for the link to the description in the description. Now, in order to kind of save time, what I've done is I've done some of the preparatory work that we normally do when we create a new opponent. So what I did is I copied the ghost and renamed it Knight. And then I went through the code, and wherever it said wherever it said ghost, I replaced it with something that said Knight. Just as we did when we created the other opponents from the ghost. And that's all I've done to the code. But I've also uploaded the graphics for this. And as you can see, there's a lot of them. In fact, if I scroll all the way down, you're going to see that there's lots and lots of graphics. And this is going to be because there's going to be lots of different moods, modes, and movements that the knight can partake in. Now, in order to save you all that time, what I've done is I've saved this as a sprite. So, what you can do, if you download the sprite from the Patreon site or any other site that I've put it on, is you could just upload it. So you just upload sprite, and that'll save you doing all of that work, and then all of that's already been done for you. Now, that's far from the finished article. You're not going to be uploading the knight the way we want him, because the fun of this is to program it yourself. So all we've done here is basically this is just the ghost with new graphics. So to see what it looks like now, I'm going to replace ghost with knight and see if we can at least get him on the screen. Okay, let's give that a shot. Oh. As you can see, we've got this big knight fading in and out and moaning and behaving just like a ghost, right? Which is what you expect, because we just copied the ghost code over and replaced the graphics. So that's our starting point. So catch up to me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for listening, and if you find this video useful, please hit like and subscribe.